Hello and welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Adam Cellini. Topping our news, we're keeping an eye on Hurricane Matthew, the Category 4 hurricane heading for landfall at some islands in the Caribbean. Let's head over to Steve Newman for a first look at our weather and the storm's progress. Steve?
Adam, Matthew has weakened oh so slightly since this time yesterday. It was 150 miles an hour at 6 o'clock yesterday, now down to weakened 145, but it's still a deadly, potentially deadly storm as it's approaching Haiti during the day tomorrow into tomorrow night and Tuesday as a Category 4, possibly high-end Category 3 storm with the strongest winds right now over Haiti predicted. It looks like Jamaica is going to escape the brunt except for far eastern tip of that, and far eastern Cuba is also going to be under the gun. Now, as we move later on in the week, the storm with the purple wind fields you see weakening to a Category 2 storm by late on Thursday. But look at this. Winds around the storm will be blowing across Florida and out over the Gulf. So we're going to get some gusty winds here from late on Wednesday into Thursday. Nothing damaging, but you're going to feel it in the air that we have a storm passing by. I'm more concerned with onshore winds and storm surge tides along the Atlantic coast, especially around Jacksonville, South Carolina, Georgia, and along the Space Coast. Rain should not be all that heavy. And speaking of rains, we've had a lot of moisture move up our way in the last hour. Southern parts of our viewing area have had a lot of lightning, strong storms, maybe some local street flooding. And just in the last half hour, one particular cell has developed right over downtown Sarasota, or the heart of Sarasota. And you can see there with a lot of lightning. This is one major storm. Those blue positive bolts are probably going to be rattling your windows for the next couple of hours. Our complete forecast of these storms and Matthew coming up in just a little bit. Adam?
Thank you, Steve. Governor Rick Scott is urging all Floridians to be prepared for what Hurricane Matthew might bring. According to a press release from his office, the state will hold twice daily calls with the National Hurricane Center and all 67 counties as the storm approaches. The group is making sure all communities have the resources to prepare and respond to the storm. The first step in staying safe during severe weather is to have a plan. Talk with your family members about what you would do during severe weather. And for tips on staying prepared, check out this year's hurricane guide on our website, mysuncoast.com. In other news, Manatee High students took to the streets today to continue protesting a controversial photo from earlier this week. The photo shows students posing on the steps of Manatee High School with a Confederate flag in hand for Spirit Week. ABC 7's Kate Flexter spoke with protesters today and joins us live from Bradenton's Riverwalk with more. Kate?
Good evening, Adam. This is actually where the protests began, and the turnout was pretty big with nearly 100 protesters here. This was the second protest in just a matter of days, all sparked by that incident you mentioned at Manatee High. The district says the student turned in that flag upon the principal's request, but it did not stop these protests from happening. The protest is part of a larger Black Lives Matter movement, and out here today were representatives from that movement, as well as the NAACP and Answer Suncoast. They're hoping to teach these students how to peacefully stand up for a cause.
The older group, we take the initiatives ourselves, but for the younger generation to get involved, that there is really a need for change.
I feel as though it's especially important for younger people to develop that habit. That's something that I wish I would have done sooner instead of kind of like more recently, is to get into the habit of vocalizing my concerns, learning the language, and understanding how to relate to people and how to better organize so that I can see the changes that I want enacted.
Those students are already planning their next protest for next Saturday. Live in Bradenton, Kate Flexter, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thank you, Kate. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office is looking for two men they say were involved in a shooting Saturday night. The Sheriff's Office says Michael Duvall walked out of the Rabonia Social Club and went to his car, which was parked across the street. That's when two men approached Duvall as he was getting into the car. One of those suspects shot Duvall, then the two of them fled the scene. Duvall was able to drive himself to a hospital where he was treated and later released. The investigation is ongoing. Anyone with information should contact Crime Stoppers. Some big changes are happening at the Jewish Family and Children's Services of the Suncoast. The social service nonprofit is looking for a new CEO. Rose Chapman has held the position for 23 years. She helped JFCS grow from a $200,000 agency to an $8.5 million agency. The staff has grown exponentially during her time as chief executive officer. Stakeholders said today that the incoming CEO has some big shoes to fill.
We're looking for someone with the capability of running and maintaining an organization of $8 to $10 million a year that serves numerous agencies in the community, someone that can follow in Rose's great footsteps in leading the team of 100+ employees, counselors, and all the good work they do in this community.
Chapman isn't saying goodbye to JFCS. She will use her 40 years of experience working with nonprofits to continue to support the organization as it moves forward. A special training session is going on in Manatee County this weekend, but this one is for four-legged students. The Canine Seminar attracts handlers from all over the country. Today is the final day of the 4-day seminar. Its goal is to build the skill between the public safety personnel and their canines and better assist the community during search and rescue efforts. 7 instructors came out to training sessions to help 50 dogs and handler teams.
The process is to bring canine handlers whose dogs specialize in tracking and trailing, and they're intermediate and beginner dogs and handlers, and to teach them basic track and trail techniques and run them through scenarios, do drills with them to get their dogs and themselves ready to go to the next level, run trails. We did some scent theory on how scent falls off the human body and how the dogs track it.
Manatee County Search and Rescue serves nearly 900 square miles of area and more than 300,000 people. Police say a teenage girl is recovering from injuries after she was burnt on a Universal Studios ride. Police say a 14-year-old girl from Tennessee was riding the Hogwarts Express train on Saturday when an e-cigarette belonging to one of the other riders blew up in his pocket. The fireball hit her in the face and burnt her head, arm, and leg. Police say the explosion was small but large enough to cause mild to moderate burns. The girl was taken to the hospital for treatment, and the e-cigarette's owner suffered minor injuries as well. This weekend marks 1 year since the El Faro container ship got caught in a hurricane and sank off the coast of the Bahamas, taking all 33 crew members with it. The families of those victims came together Saturday in Jacksonville to honor their loved ones lost. Kevin Clark reports from Jacksonville.
Maria Wright.
33 names. Each bell rings for a life.
Louis Champa.
The lives of those mariners are remembered in the form of a lighthouse, the English translation of El Faro. It's been a year.
This memorial stands as well as an appropriate acknowledgement of the bravery, grace, and dignity with which our El Faro families have endured their unimaginable grief.
Rochelle Ham's husband, Frank, was one of the 33.
A lot of people were sad and heartbroken. I was as well.
She says the investigation has come a long way in 1 year, with investigators recovering El Faro's black box off the coast of the Bahamas.
God allowed them to pull it up and still retrieve information when man said it couldn't be done. So I'm just looking at all of these things. As a result, a month before this, my husband's hat washed up on the beach, so that gives me hope.
But it's also been a year of too many unanswered questions. The Coast Guard is still investigating why the ship sailed into Hurricane Joaquin.
Why did they have to go out in a storm like that? The ship should have never left, but we all know it did. And in the midst of that happening, you know, I'm fighting for change.
In Dames Point Park, El Faro's owner and the city unveiled a memorial statue during a private ceremony at the renamed El Faro Memorial Park.
Still to come here on ABC 7, Donald Trump's tax returns thrust into the spotlight. A closer look at the billionaire's financial history before earning the GOP nomination.
Stand out in your new wild Lexus. Lease a new 2016 Lexus ES350 for only $329, or enjoy 0.9% APR, just $329, exclusively at Wild Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road.
Let SWC Properties sell your home today. Take advantage of this great market and sell your home for the most amount of money in the least amount of time. SWC Properties gives you the benefit of full-service marketing that sells your home faster with the fewest hassles. There are no hidden fees, and now for a limited time, we'll list your home for 50% off. Wouldn't it feel great to save thousands and feel confident with your move? Give us a call for details or visit swcproperties.com and contact us for free information packet and find out why. It's simple. We just market your home better.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
They say good things come to those that wait. Well, you've waited long enough. You deserve to feel fabulous in your fashionable new Fiat 500X from Alfa Romeo Fiat in Sarasota. Boldly innovative, seductively stylish. Fiat gives you everything you'd expect from a capable utility vehicle, like a spacious interior and advanced safety systems, designed and built like a sexy little sportster. Don't wait any longer. You deserve to feel fabulous. Get a new Fiat at Alfa Romeo Fiat of Sarasota.
Gold fever has once again swept the nation, and everyone is rushing to Florida to strike it doubly rich. Introducing the $5 million Gold Rush Doubler. We're doubling cash prizes for over $752 million in payouts, and 36 prizes from $1 million to $5 million. The Florida Gold Rush is on. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
Stand out in your new wild Lexus. Lease a new 2016 Lexus RX 350 for only $419, or enjoy 0.9% APR, just $419, exclusively at Wild Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road.
The latest from the campaign trail, a front-page story in the New York Times claiming Donald Trump could have transformed nearly $1 billion in losses into huge tax benefits. The candidate himself lobbying new attacks at rival Hillary Clinton. ABC's Mary Bruce is in Washington with more.
The New York Times revealing fragments of Donald Trump's state tax records from 1995, reportedly showing more than $900 million in losses. The deduction so large it could have allowed Trump to legally avoid paying federal income taxes for up to 18 years. The newspaper says the paperwork was sent anonymously.
They showed he didn't pay any federal income tax. So
that makes
if
me
he's
smart.
paid.
During last week's debate, Trump didn't deny not paying federal income taxes, but he has repeatedly criticized other people for doing the same.
I know people that are making a tremendous amount of money and paying virtually no tax, and I think it's unfair.
The Republican nominee responded to the story on Twitter, saying, "I know our complex tax laws better than anyone who has ever run for president, and am the only one who can fix them."
Don't you think a man who has this kind of economic genius is a lot better for the United States than a woman, and the only thing she's ever produced? There's a lot of work for the FBI checking out her emails.
If Mr. Giuliani thinks that Mr. Trump is smart and all the rest of us are dummies because we believe in America, well, I think they have a very distorted view of the American people and what this country is about.
Clinton herself spent Sunday in church, the candidate in Charlotte speaking on America's racial divide nearly 2 weeks after the police shooting that killed a black father. At one point, Clinton hugging the 9-year-old who tearfully addressed the city council last week.
She said, "We are black people, and we shouldn't have to feel like this." Because my grandchildren are white, let's be honest here, they won't face the kind of fear that we heard from the young children testifying before the city council.
Mary Bruce, ABC News, Washington.
The Trump campaign released a statement saying, quote, "Mr. Trump is a highly skilled businessman who has a fiduciary responsibility to his business, his families, and his employees to pay no more tax than legally required." The New York Times says Trump's accountant verified the document in Florida last week. Back here on the Sun Coast, as autumn returns, so do the pumpkins. The 28th annual Fruitville Grove Pumpkin Festival is celebrating its first weekend of the season with hay rides, a petting zoo, and of course, plenty of pumpkin creations.
We're from Port Charlotte, and I'm watching my grandchildren, so I thought it would be something fun for them to do. We're going to pick out pumpkins, we're going to go take some train rides, and we are going to see what else is available here for us.
The festival will be open every weekend through the end of the month from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Admission and parking is free. And I wish autumn would bring some cold weather along with those pumpkins. But
autumn is not here yet because the license plates have not yet changed colors. We're waiting for that. That's when it officially arrives. We've got some storms. You can hear them outside right now. And if you're throughout most of our viewing area, you're hearing them on outside with a lot of positive strikes. Let's take a look at how today was. Other than that, not bad this morning, early afternoon. Wasn't until about 5 o'clock that they started coming in Charlotte County and southern Sarasota. And they've just done nothing but increase in coverage area and dampened most of the area ever since. Currently at Sarasota Bradenton International Airport, thunderstorms in progress. The temperature 88 at the top of the hour. I think it's probably cooler than that right now by the time they take the next observation. Dew point 73. Our high this afternoon, a warm 93 degrees. Last night's low 73. You can see the averages and the records for this date. Let's take a look at where those storms were coming from. Down over southeast Florida, a lot of moisture surging during the afternoon in our direction. And it's going to be with us for another hour or so before we start to dry out. You can see a lot of lightning down there in Charlotte County and southern Sarasota County from these storms spreading. Just look how broadly that coverage area grew during the afternoon. And right over the heart of Sarasota, we have a fairly strong storm with lots of lightning. Please stay indoors during these storms because these bolts could be deadly, especially these blue positive ones. And we've already had 210 lightning strikes just within this red box area. Positive strikes, the powerful, most dangerous ones, 34 so far. Well, this is a beautiful storm. Matthew is a classic, beautiful spiraling storm, but what it could do to the Greater Antilles is probably not going to be very pretty because it is still a Category 4 storm, winds 145 miles an hour. The eye has remained intact. You can see it right there, starting now to drift more in a northwesterly direction. It'll eventually shift to more northerly overnight. And some had thought that the eye would collapse and another one would form out around that outer band there, but it's remaining intact, so it's showing no signs of significant weakening, although it's dropped 5 miles an hour in the maximum sustained wind since this time yesterday. Hurricane warnings in effect for Haiti, eastern Cuba, and Jamaica. Category 4 force winds are likely over Haiti, but it's the rainfall on the dirty side of that storm coming in right on through Monday into Tuesday that could cause devastating floods. We've been talking about that for a couple of days. It weakens through Category 3 over the Bahamas and then Category 2 off the Atlantic coast late in the week. We are still outside the cone of uncertainty, so if this predicted path remains, we should not have any significant influences on the Gulf Coast, but they could have storm surge tides along the Atlantic coast. Not a lot of rain from this. This is the European model's forecast of rainfall between now and Friday as the storm passes well to the east of us. Anywhere from 1.5 inches to maybe 2.5 inches of rain along the Atlantic coast. But it's the onshore winds that could cause the greatest problems, especially up around Jacksonville, St. Augustine, down to the Kennedy Space Center, Georgia, and South Carolina. We will have to watch that very closely. People along the Atlantic coast could still have problems. We here on the Gulf Coast should not. Here's our futurecast showing a front to the north of us. It'll go stationary before it gets here. Tomorrow afternoon, more storms over the area. Typical weather pattern for this time of year, and then by Wednesday the winds will pick up as Matthew nears. If you're heading out on the water tomorrow, look for east winds turning northerly in the afternoon to 10 knots, seas 2 feet or less. Great day tomorrow. Weather should not be that great for boating by Wednesday and Thursday, though. UV index at the beach, 60. Here's my forecast for tonight. Thunderstorms will end overnight. Our low temperature is 74, and the 7-day outlook shows that it will turn breezy come Wednesday and Thursday with a fairly good chance of showers, just not terribly heavy, and then things calm down across all of Florida as Matthew passes by next weekend. Adam?
Now, sports.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers in danger right now of losing their 3rd straight game hosting the Denver Broncos at Raymond James Stadium. Trevor Siemian and the Broncos undefeated so far this season. They played 3 games. First drive, Jameis Winston looking for Adam Humphries, but he's picked off by Aqib Talib, who takes it all the way down to the 11. First play, Trevor Siemian hits Demaryius Thomas on the hitch, and Thomas does the rest. The Bucs down a touchdown early. Later on in the first, Winston avoiding the Pro Bowl rush. Oh, excuse me, that is another pick by Jameis Winston. He ran for a touchdown earlier in this game, but throws another pick to Aqib Talib. And the Broncos are currently on top of the Buccaneers, 27-7 with a couple minutes left in the fourth quarter. The Jacksonville Jaguars playing an early one against the Colts today across the pond in London. And the Brits got to see a physical one. Colts quarterback Andrew Luck sacked 6 times in this game, picked off here by Yannick Ngakoue. Bortles solid today, running for 1 touchdown and throwing for 2 more. Here he hits Allen Hurns for a 42-yard score. Hurns had a nice day himself. That was, I believe, his 2nd touchdown of the day. And the Colts would come back in the second half, make it a 3-point game, but on their final drive, unable to convert on this 4th and 1. And the Jaguars still winless in the United States, but they win their first game of the season in Wembley, 30-27. The Tampa Bay Rays ending their season today in Arlington. The Rays currently in a rubber match with the AL Best Texas Rangers. Top of the second, that's Kurt Casale lining one to center. The runner at third scores. The Rays first on the board today. But later on in the 4th inning, Rangers down 3-1. Jonathan LaCroix lines a solo home run to right center field, cutting into Tampa Bay's lead. And the Rays are currently tied with the Rangers 4-4 in the 9th inning. David Ortiz's farewell tour is coming to its regular season end. Over the last 3 days at Fenway, Ortiz has been showered with gifts and praise from fellow Boston sports stars in the team's final series at home with the Blue Jays. And today, Ortiz was honored with a street and bridge outside Fenway dedicated to his namesake. Also, the organization retiring his number 34. Big Papi's career will extend through the postseason. The Red Sox start their playoff series with Cleveland on Thursday. The United States has defeated Europe to secure its first Ryder Cup victory since 2008. All eyes on these two today. Patrick Reed and Rory McIlroy matched up as the first pairing, and as you can see, the emotion was at an all-time high between two of the tournament's hottest players. Patrick Reed giving him the finger wag there on the green. The crowd was so loud following Reed and McIlroy from hole to hole that at one point, U.S. teammate Phil Mickelson had to step away from his putt on an adjacent green. The U.S. came in today leading 9.5 to 6.5, and they dominated on Sunday, winning 7 of the last 12 matches. More to come here on ABC 7. Stay with us.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
The official Suncoast Storm team at ABC 7. We're here for you.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, we make sure you get the most for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. And right now, you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet. A new 2016 Subaru Forester for just $209 a month, complimentary maintenance included. At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
This evening marks the official start of Rosh Hashanah, otherwise known as the Jewish New Year. It's celebrated on different days every year according to the Hebrew calendar. It marks the anniversary of the birth of the universe through God's creation of Adam and Eve. It's a day to reflect on a person's deeds over the past year and set the tone for the year ahead. Some symbolic foods include apples and honey in order to signify the wish for a sweet new year. An 8-year-old girl from Texas who made a motivating speech about her passion for education receives a big surprise from the school of her dreams. Jordan Phipps was honored at a school assembly on Thursday when the University of North Texas presented her with a $10,000 scholarship. It all started when Jordan's mom uploaded a video to YouTube about her enthusiasm for education and her dream to go to UNT, all while wearing a UNT shirt. It's not clear what Jordan will declare as her major, but the third grader has some time to think about it. Yeah, plenty of time. It took me, I think, deep into my college years to declare a major, so I think she'll be all right for sure. But
we have an anniversary. Wendy is taking this time off on holiday, but I'm going to celebrate something that she's not here to celebrate. 40 years.
Wendy Ross.
Wendy
years.
Ross on Tuesday, 40 years ago, joined what we now call ABC 7. 40 years. This is her on the news set back in the day working with anchorman Bob Keane and Ron Jackson on the left. I worked with both of them, and standing behind Wendy is Bob Nelson, the father of ABC 7, who hired both Wendy and me, gave us both our careers. Congratulations, Wendy, for a great career and a long spell of great weather along the Sun Coast. She's one of the nicest people I have ever met.
And a bright future of weather from Wendy, too. She's not done yet. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys later tonight.